Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Both Sean and Nikki sent me this story. Dallas man quoted $7,000 at dealership after a light goes off in his car. Then he took it to his mechanic who fixed it for $125. And this is the kind of thing that really makes you pause, because taking something to a dealership, we always joke, is more expensive. And sometimes it is, even if they both do the exact same repair compared to an independent mechanic. However, here, it's based on what appears to have been a misdiagnosis. So this is why I don't trust anybody else with my cars, says the man who owns the car. Motor1.com ran the story. Chad Swiatek wrote it. One day, in the space of a day, an airbag light that came on a Honda Odyssey triggered two radically different opinions. One from a dealership and one from a trusted local mechanic. And between the two, about $6,875 difference. So the man has posted a clip on the internet. He's from Dallas, the area of Dallas. He takes viewers through the dread and disbelief of allowing a little bit of trust for the staffing a repair center at his local Honda dealership. And his story starts with a common nagging warning. An airbag light on his dashboard came on. It's a 2020 Honda Odyssey that his wife has. The van was less than 3 years old, but it was after the 36,000 mile mark, so it was outside of warranty, except if it was a safety-related issue, it might be subject to a recall. So he thought, well, I'll take it to the dealership because, they would know these things. So he takes it there and spending some time there, drops the vehicle off at 8 a.m. A few hours later, they text him and say, yeah, the cost to repair this is $7,000. $7,000. They said that they believed the fault was in the passenger seat's airbag system wiring harness, which is so deeply integrated into the vehicle, it would require removing a large portion of the interior to access it and replace it. Now, modern vehicles like the Odyssey do feature complex airbag systems with sensors located all over the place. And some even include seat-integrated airbag modules, which can, of course, complicate repairs even further. So the dealership's message said their technicians were unable to pinpoint the exact fault, at least the location of it, and thus they recommended replacing the entire airbag wiring harness, which would cost a lot of money, i.e. $7,000. So he was curious about this, so he wasn't sure. He thought he'd get a second opinion. So he got the second opinion from a longtime mechanic he's worked with at an independent shop. He describes the guy there as honest, experienced, and familiar with the family's vehicles. He followed his wife's advice not to say a word about the dealership diagnosis, just brought it in and said, hey, can you check this out? The shop ran their codes, troubleshot the issue, and turns out 2 hours later they called him and said, yeah, $125, $125. The mechanic had already pulled the airbag fault codes, identified the issue as a loose connector under the driver's seat, removed and reseated the wiring harness plug, and verified that the system now works properly. So there was no teardown, no multi-day wait, no thousands of dollars in parts and labor. It's a prime example of how real-world experience and logical diagnostics often outperform the parts cannon approach, sometimes taken by dealership service departments. While many factory techs are highly trained, dealership shops operate under strict time billing and warranty reimbursement structures, which can push them towards replacing large systems rather than pinpointing the most cost-effective fix. And so the loose connector is the kind of thing that can happen by vibration or just time, and it's the kind of thing that a good mechanic might find when another mechanic might not. So according to national estimates, airbag sensor repairs or harness issues typically range from $100 to $600, depending on the location and the severity. A $7,000 job is a statistical outlier unless a complete supplemental restraint system rebuild is involved. So the man at the center of this story says, this is why I don't trust anybody else with my cars. So great story from Motor1.com. But I've mentioned before that nowadays modern cars are so complicated that I have the utmost respect for mechanics. However, it is true what they're pointing out in the story in that mechanics' hands are often tied at dealerships because they're told you get this much time to diagnose, you get this much time to work on it, and so on. Now, this was not a warranty repair, so they wouldn't have been as handcuffed as they would be if it was a warranty repair. But even so, guy brings his car in and says he's got this problem. They poke around a little bit, don't find anything obvious, and they go, well, we know that replacing the whole thing, the harness, wiring harness, will take care of the problem. So let's do that. But, of course, independent mechanic hears all day long, can you make this repair as cheaply as possible? Repair it, but do what you can to save money. And I'm going to let you know right now that if you find a good mechanic, you almost want to adopt them. I have a good mechanic, and I've taken my vehicles to this guy now for 3-4 years after someone else said, I have a good mechanic, and my family's been taking cars there for decades. And I go, wait, the guy's not that old. Oh, no, the shop was started by his dad, and then he came up and now runs the shop. And one of my previous Ford Explorers needed a brake job. And I drove it over there, and I said, I want you to repair the brakes, do all 4 corners. And I actually said to him, do all 4 corners. I want you to do all 4. And he goes, okay. I came back in a couple days later, said it's fixed. Came back in, and he goes, here's the bill. And it was half of what I expected. And I said, this can't be right. And he goes, you did not need back brakes. Fronts, yes. Backs, no. Now, car guys in the audience are all going, Steve, I understand what happened there. So do I. Because your fronts often do wear out faster than your backs. I understand that. But the point is, I gave him the blank check. I said, do all 4 corners. Was I upset that he didn't? No. I assumed that, it'd be easier to do all 4 while it's up on the hoist. I'll pay the extra money. I don't care. It's got to be close. He goes, it wasn't even close. He turned down free money. That's how good this guy is. And I'm not talking about his ability to diagnose or his ability to repair. I'm talking about how honest he is. He's like, no, you didn't need backs. And I've sent people to him. I know other people who use him, and they all have stories like that, where he, found some way to save money. That's because he understands. And this is the thing I mentioned a couple days ago about being a consumer protection attorney and how I personally am baffled and actually sometimes offended by bad customer service. And one of the things that frustrates me is that some businesses, whether a mechanic or a dealership or anything else, doesn't understand that the best thing you can do to make money is treat your customers well and get them to come back. Because if you're in my business right now, spending money, it's easier to get you to come back a second time and spend money than it is to get a total stranger to come in here and spend money. So it makes the most sense to treat you well to see if you'll come back. And then guess what? If I come back a few times and I like this place and people ask me, who do you use? I will send people your way because it makes me look good. Think about that. I will send people to you because then my friends go, Steve recommended this good guy to me or gal, right? And I don't know how people in business don't get this. Repeat business is the key. It's the key to almost everything if you're in business, unless you're selling something like, I don't know, custom-built homes. Chances are, if I buy a custom-built home from you today, I'm not going to be in there tomorrow going, I need you to build me another one. That's I understand that. But I'm talking about a mechanic or even a restaurant. Now there are some restaurants that get away with bad service because they've got a high-traffic area and they're in a tourist town or something. But generally speaking, you want people to come back and say nice things about you. That will go a long way. And so the mechanic who says, yeah, it's a $125 fix, I just had to reconnect something and double check it. It took me a little while to find it. Yeah, you pay for diagnostic time. Of course you do. $125. That is eminently reasonable. And even without the $7,000 repair estimate to compare it to. And so that's the point. And just so you know, I've had people who treated me inappropriately, I thought, who were merchants of some sort. And I know for a fact they've lost business because people ask me, they say, hey, Steve, I heard you had such and such done. Who did it? And I'd say, you don't want to use them. You don't want to use them. And so it cuts both ways. It's the earliest form of virality. That is treating your customers well and taking care of them so that not only do they come back, but they bring their friends back, figuratively speaking. So I can tell you right now that when I have an issue with my car and I call him to say, can I bring my car in? He'll often say, how serious is it? Because I'm kind of backed up right now. Guess what? He's always backed up. You know why? He's busy because so many people want to use him. And there are other shops. I drive past other shops to get to this guy's shop. There's other shops with a bunch of mechanics and the owners standing around going, where is everybody? They're all down the road at the other guy's shop because he does such good work. So that's the key here is an honest, competent mechanic said, found it. And that's also something that you just can't replace. I may have mentioned before, I had an uncle. He passed away a couple years ago. But my mother's brother, mechanical genius, worked in a shop his entire life as a mechanic. Interestingly, he also drove stock cars back in USAC and NASCAR in the late 60s. Actually raced stock cars. And but one day, my brother had a Buick, some big Buick land yacht, the size of an aircraft carrier, and he went to fire it up and it started making a really weird racket. Now, my brothers and I are all relatively mechanically inclined, but we heard that noise and we're like, what the heck is that? And so he shuts the car off and we're like, that's weird. And it was a sound unlike any other I had ever heard before. Okay? So we go, well, if Uncle Les was here, he could tell us. So my brother calls Uncle Les. My uncle gets on the phone. Goes, what's going on, boys? Well, my Buick's making a weird noise. Oh, okay. Can you come over and look at it? How about this? Do you guys have one of those portable phones? One of those space-age portable phones back in the 70s? Yes, we do. Take the phone outside, let me hear it. So one brother's holding the phone, hood's up on the car. My brother starts the car. My uncle yells, shut it off. Shuts it off. What is it? Cracked flywheel. The flywheel's cracked. Oh, which explains why I didn't recognize the sound. I'd never heard a cracked flywheel before. They make a very distinctive racket. My uncle diagnosed it over the phone. Now, I know a lot of people go, Steve, I know mechanics could have done that. Yes, that's what I'm pointing out. There are good mechanics out there. I'd never heard the sound before. All I remember is it made a hellacious racket. But my uncle diagnosed it over the phone. Charged us $0. I'll take that all day long. And my brother did get it fixed. Once you know what it was, it's easier to get it fixed. So there you go. But Sean and Nikki, thanks for sending that from Motor1.com. Chad Swiatek wrote that. Dallas man quoted $7,000 at dealership after a light went off in his car. But when he took it to his own mechanic, fixed it for $125. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be misquoted and then used against you.